Welcome to your handy Top Gear hot hatch guide. There's been a tsunami of new hot hatches in the second half of 2020, so we thought, why not? Let's get them together down at the Top Gear test track, hoon them around all day, and then tell you what we think, which is what I'm about to do. So we start here with the new Golf GTI. Has VW been doing this for a bit too long? They basically nailed the formula with the Mark V, didn't they? And then they've just been copying it ever since. Same design tropes, same crisp but predictable handling, same everyman desirability, same relatively lacking in performance compared to rivals that have 50 horsepower more. But do you know what? On every situation, apart from driving it on your favourite B road, it's probably the most satisfying car to drive here. Buy one if you've got your sensible pants on. Moving on to this, the Honda Civic Type R. You can't really miss it. I should say the new Honda Civic Type R, because this one has been subjected to a series of quite nerdy upgrades, including a grille that's about 13% bigger, and instead of a ball on top of the gear knob, you've now got a teardrop shaped piece of metal. Don't know why they did it. It was perfect beforehand. More interestingly, the standard model is now bookended by two different ones. You've got the Sport line, which deletes the rear wing and adds some sound deadening, and this one, the limited edition, which lobs out the aircon and the infotainment, and you get lighter forged BBS wheels, and it saves about 50 kilograms. It is a car that looks slightly daft, but it's so good to drive. That front end is so positive, the gear shift is so good. It's the car that proves rear-wheel drive isn't the only answer. If you can get past those looks, by all means buy one. The Fiesta ST. What can I say about this thing that we haven't already said? Well, a little bit actually, because this is the Fiesta ST edition, the new one. So you've got new coilover suspension from Ford Performance, slightly lighter wheels, slightly beefier brakes, but no more power. So it's the same smidgen under 200 horsepower, 1.5 litre triple turbo, but just such a complete car. Always up for having fun, a barrel of laughs, this thing. The ride, it's a bit positive, but trust us, you'll get used to us. Also probably the cheapest car here in its most basic guise. And then we move on to the most expensive. The Mercedes A45S, the most powerful series production hot hatch anywhere. 415 horsepower from its 2 litre single turbo. It's got a drift mode. It is monstrously fast, this thing. Tech overload on the outside, engineering obsession underneath. It does have a tendency to feel a bit artificial though, a bit lacking in driver engagement. But if you've got 50 grand spare, by all means, buy one if you like brutal acceleration. Moving on to the Hyundai, the i30N, the new Hyundai i30N, which you probably spotted if you got your anorak on, because it's got new LED light signatures and it's got fatter tailpipes at the back. Under the bonnet, there's still a 2 litre turbo, 276 horsepower. If you buy one in the UK, that's about 5 horsepower more than before. More interesting is the fact that as well as a 6-speed manual, you can now get an 8-speed twin clutch, which is as good as anything out there. I can't think of another car that just came fresh, that came cold into a sector like the hot hatch sector and just went pretty much to the top of the tree. It is a fantastic car. They said there's one weakness, it's probably a harsh ride, and there may still be a little bit of badge snobbery out there, but if that's you, get over yourself. It's an absolutely cracking car. The Audi S3. Right, we all know the drill here, don't we? 4-wheel drive for traction, quality as standard. This one now has a 2 litre turbo, of course, but with 306 horsepower. So it is a properly quick car, but it's a bit soft in this competition. It's a bit predictable. It's one for the image conscious, if I'm honest. But if you are conscious of your image, please don't go for this colour. I'm going to call it stomach bile, and by all means avoid the chrome trim that they've splashed all over this car. But you can pretty much forget everything I've just said, because we come to the end of the line to the new Toyota Yaris GR, which is the car you should buy. Admittedly, it's a full rally homologation special, which means it's got this bespoke 3-door body shell, which means the back seats are basically unusable and you can just about see out of the rear window. But you'll look past all that when you drive it, because this thing is absolutely superb. Part carbon, it's got a carbon roof, 4x4 rally refugee, part developed by WRC legend Tommy Mackinnon. We wanted to love this car when we saw the specs. 3-cylinder engine, 1.6 turbo, 257 horsepower, and do you know what? It's absolutely blown us away. Switchable all-wheel drive system. It feels like a proper little tough, rugged rally car, this thing. It's not just all in the marketing. They've done a proper job on this. All the controls are nice and crisp. It's a superb thing, and guess what? They're selling them for under 30 grand. So the big question is, what are you, what am I, what are we waiting for? Get out there and buy one. There is a new Top Gear hot hatch king, and it's called the Toyota Yaris GR.